thought we played a team that was ready. Like, they were organized and they had a plan and they competed. They moved the ball. They made some shots early and they mixed it inside and out. And we had 9 turns in the first half. We didn't get a 50-50 ball in the second half. Now, partly because of they're quick, and that's kind of how they play. They get it up on the glass and they go back and get it. They're really good at that, but we didn't get a 50-50 ball for maybe the first 14 minutes of the second half. But then, we did enough good things to win. We executed down the stretch for the most part. We got to the free throw line, utilized our size advantage, and we had 4 turns in the second half. And the thing that sticks out with us all the time is the way we share the ball. 20 assists on 25 passes.
Do you think it took the guys a little while to realize they were in a dogfight tonight to respond to that?
Maybe it shouldn't. It was pretty evident that they're a team that plays. They play really hard. They really compete, and they're together. They normally don't shoot the ball as well as they did tonight. But, they've got guys who make shots. They made 10 threes. So that's a game changer for them because now you got drivers and a couple post guys that can score. So it makes them harder to guard. But I didn't think, early on, our activity level was pretty good, but it wasn't what it needed to be on this night.
What's the balance of using tonight for the teachable moments as opposed to just, moving on completely from it?
It's really no different than any other game. You have, you said it, you have teachable moments. So you want to go in and scream and yell about what we didn't do, or you want to point out what we didn't do and point out what we did do. We made some glaring mistakes down the stretch and still made up for it with activity. And then we also executed really well at times. So for the most part, we came down and got a shot. Even in that one stretch where when they took the lead in the second half, we weren't making anything. All right, we got it down, we got into our offense, we got a shot. And we knew eventually we would make them. I thought we did a good job with that.
They went up 59-56. You called that timeout. Did you tell them anything differently in that timeout that you hadn't told them before, or did you just stick that time, whatever you told them?
It was a lot of the same, but we started to make some changes with what we were doing at both ends of the floor. So we made some changes and pointed out some things. In those changes, what we needed to focus on. I think that's the important thing in that situation. Let's focus on what we're doing and not scream and yell about what we're not doing. That doesn't help anybody. You're not, maybe in the first half, you can light them up a little bit, but you get down the stretch, you got to give them something to hold on to, and that's what I was trying to do.
Nugget looks pretty comfortable on the perimeter. At least tonight, he seemed really comfortable.
But, I think for the most part, Pat, he's just he's comfortable out there no matter what position he's in. He can dribble, pass, and shoot. He plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. He doesn't try to do what he can't do. He knows what he's good at. He knows his teammates. He knows our offense. He knows all the different spots in our offense, which is, special for a young guy. And he takes advantage of his size.
Yeah, have you ever had a near 7-footer at the front of your press?
No. We typically try to have a taller guy there. 6'7", 6'8". Whitey was there. He was 6'9". He was probably up until now the best guy we had there.
Looks like you had Jack at the top of the 1-3-1 as well. Is it kind of a similar deal? It's
unique? Same thing. He's doing a lot of the same things. He's trying to disrupt and get them a little bit sideways with what they're trying to do. And he's a hard guy to see around, and he gets his hands on ball, he gets deflections, and Luka does a pretty good job there too.
How effective do you think your zone was tonight? Your zone defense and
reasonably effective. Reasonably effective. They took us off the dribble a couple times. They overloaded us the one time. They got an and one. We got caught staring at the ball. Those are the breakdowns I was talking about. You know, if we're gonna go into a zone, you know, it's a likelihood that, you know, they might go to an overload. So when they do, you gotta get everybody over. You don't wanna be the guy guarding a zone, there's nobody in it. Doesn't do you any good. The shooters are all on the other side of the floor, so we gotta get over. So regardless of what we lined up in when they came across 10-second line, we gotta guard people.
When they fronted the post in the first half, was that confusing to your guys, and what did they do to kind of figure out how to get around
I
that?
think we're gonna see that a lot, especially with smaller teams.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta swing it side to side, you gotta go high-low. Cordell made a couple goofy passes in the first half, but he just normally doesn't make those mistakes. But he did, and, you know, he was frustrated about that because he knew what he wanted to do, and he kind of rushed himself.
How's Connor? Mono, is that right?
He's got mono, yeah. You know, when I met with you guys the other day, they had tested him for it, but we didn't know if he had it or not. We didn't find out until about midway through practice that he had it. So he's really sick. He's swollen up in here and can't swallow, and earaches. I mean, he feels terrible. So I feel bad for him. You know, he'll be better in a couple of weeks, and you know his ankle will be fully healed by then. We'll take the time. He would have played tonight on the ankle, but he probably wouldn't have been 100% either.
So you're looking at like a couple weeks for him to be, I guess.
Typically it's 3 weeks for
Okay.
mono. He's 1 week in.
Okay.
Of course, we didn't know it, but he's a 1 week in. So you know, so you're 2 weeks, but then he's going to be exhausted, and you know we got to get him back in shape. It's probably going to be another week. So you're probably looking at 3 weeks from yesterday.
What does that do for your guard depth? I know that
Got to go with what we got. I mean, I thought Brady has been really good. Tonight he was just okay, but he had a couple back, you know, he made some nice passes in the first half, a couple back cut layups. He was solid. He got us into our stuff. You know, I thought Macy was good. I went with Isaiah down the stretch. I thought, you know, he earned that. But I thought Macy made a big three. He made a nice play, driving kick. You know, his activity level's pretty good. So, you know, we still got, we got plenty of guys back there.
What'd you like about Isaiah? How did he earn that playing time tonight?
Well, I thought he was aggressive. I thought he was under control. I mean, because that's a fine line. You turn him loose. But he's looking for a shot, and he's making shots and scoring the ball and making his free throws, and that's what I want from him. I thought his activity level on defense was good. He's just getting more and more confident, I think. He's, you know, I think he's a terrific player. We need that from him.
Now you go to the Caymans. What's the value of
One last question.
the 3 games in 3 days in the Caymans? What do you see as the biggest value there for you guys?
Well, I think a lot of things, the quality of teams that you're playing, you got to do a quick turnaround. We're going to have some of that this year, if you look at our schedule. But different styles, you know. Louisiana Lafayette plays one way, South Dakota State, Wyoming play differently. Richmond plays differently than Cincinnati. You go right on down the line. Buffalo was having a really good year. So it's a really strong field. So you know you're going to play 3 good teams, play 3 good games. And it will really test our depth, you know, 3 games in 3 days. But I think that's the challenge that all of us look forward to this time. Pretty much everybody's in the tournament. Sometimes it's a 4 team, sometimes it's 8. But I think, you know, we'll be ready for the challenge.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Thanks, guys.